Hey everyone, so I'm going to tie a monkey, or a version of a monkey. It's going to be a silk cone head. I've got some 3mm glitter tubing here. I'm going to use plastic, and then some 1.8 in it. So I pre-cut a length of this, it's probably about 1 inch, and then cut the end away there to tie onto. I'm just going to burn back of the inner, and then pull it through here like so. So that's going to form the body. So I'm going to leave approximately that much with the hook hold in it. So I'm just going to cut that away, leave a bit at the front for tying onto, and for the cone to sit on. There you go. Right, me being me, I'm on 1.8, so I'm just going to start ahead of the joint here and just tie over like so. Now when I get to this bit, I'll probably tie over it again with a little bit of glue on the thread, but for the time being I'm just going over like that. I'm just going to cut that away. So I don't know really call it cheating or not, but I like to go over this here with some dubbing rather than a wrap, purely on the basis that it's obviously a different shape to the body. So I mean, it's kind of covered up by the hackle, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, some random thoughts from me. I've got some flat braid here in silver. You can see this is loop stuff, but it makes a nice body wrap. So this is just a really nice simple body wrap, nice bright silver for, I'm going to say, you know, spring fly. I'm not sure if it, I mean obviously it's a good colour for spring with black and yellow basically, but I mean this fly isn't limited only to spring fishing. You can fish it all sorts of different times a year. So I've just forgotten my pin, but I'm just going to whack a little, if I can get the sinew tube of super juice. It's just, I mean just a tiny drop, that's all I want. This one's looking a bit beaten up. I'm just going to put a tiny bit on there, sorry about that. Right, so let's wrap this up. Overlapping turns. This is quite a long body, but not bothered. So I'm going to tie it just to where it drops down there, and I'm just going to tie that off here. I don't know what's happened to that super glue, it's been a bit weird. Anyway, I'm going to tie that off to there, cut him away, and just tidy that up. So there. So you've got a nice silver body just there, and I'm just going to plop a little bit more over the join there. I wouldn't usually do that, but I'm doing it now. Now, as I mentioned before, because I've cut this away and it's at an angle, it won't have the same body shape. I'm going to put some dubbing in. Obviously you can choose whatever colour dubbing you want. This is just some SSS Sailor Synthetic. This is green Highlander. It's a slightly different colour, so this would be better probably with a chartreuse hackle, and I'm going to use a yellow hackle, but you know, doesn't matter, whatever. I quite like a bit of different dubbing coming out of the body. It's just personal preference. I mean, this is a great fly with the chartreuse hackle as well. So I'm not quite to the lip there, but then I'm just going to use this. This is one of the flat dubbing brushes from shore. Does a great job. It's quite big, good for bigger flies perhaps, maybe predatory flies. Not so great on the smaller flies, but it's a great bit of kit for something like this. So just rub out the dubbing because I want that colour to come through the yellow hackle. So that's that done. Just tidy that up. So I'm going to put one hackle here. So I'm just using a soft hen for this. Again, you can see the colours are slightly different, but again, I'm not bothered. So I'm going to use a slightly smaller one here, and the reason I'm putting one in here is because the wing, depending on what you use, but if you're using softer wing fibres, then they're going to drop down in the water and then they're going to lower down. So if you've got a hook out the back here, you've got quite a good chance of the long wings getting caught in the hook. So I'm going to try and keep the wing of this up. I mean, if you're using something like goat on the top as well, goat's quite heavy, so you could flatten down any soft wing that you've got under there, and again, because it's long, it could flatten back on your hook. Right, so I'm just going to put these back a bit, just along the fibres using those scissors. Hackle pliers would be useful. So let's get these on. Now you don't want these to be too flat. You want them to flare up a little bit. Again, you want to, because it's going to help keep that wing up, like so. And again, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I like to have a very nice soft landing. So I take away some of the bristles there. I'm just going to tie that in there, like so. It's nice and safe. Clean that up, just a bit of gold. Right, so the mistake I used to make all the time is always putting softer wings on the flies, and like I said, it drops everything down. So I'm going to whack a bit of bucktail on this. So this is some of the shore bucktail, and I really like this. The packet, it's difficult because the packaging, the camera's focused on the fly, but this is a large bucktail. These come in really nice packs, sealed packs, so it keeps the hair nice and fresh. As you can see, it's got really nice tips to these. There's no broken tips, it's not cut away. It's a really nice long length. It's difficult to see, I know. It's the nice, I put it up against my top, it's easy to see. Nice long length there, no splits, no flat tips. So I'm just going to put a small amount, not too much, just a little. I don't like my flies to be too heavily dressed. It's probably going to turn out quite heavily dressed. But I'm just going to put a small amount as the first wing. And as you know, bucktail's a bit harder, so it's going to stay slightly more vertical. And I'm just going to put a small wing just past the end here. Really small bit. Not looking for any dense weight or anything like that. So this is just going to help keep the next wings up and have a higher movement. Higher movement doesn't make sense. Have a higher profile, so they're not going to sink down as much. So that hackle and that wing will keep that next wing upright. Right, so the next wing, I'm going to lob in a bit of TD. Again, this is some of Shore's stuff. Again, it's nicely packaged, steel packaging. So I mean, I don't have particularly big drawers in my tying area. Again, this is nice fur. It's nice and soft. It's nicely tipped. So I like this. It's a nice bit of kit. So again, not too heavy a wing. I'm going to put that just past. You can see just past the end of the hook there. going to chop him off here. Maybe a little bit shorter, just in there. Tie that on. To there. So that's our next wing in here. Now I'm going to go for some much longer TD. So this is kind of 7 to 10. I'm going to make this one a little bit thicker here, like so. So giving that, so I want a lot of movement out of this, and I don't have any goat on me at the moment, so I'm not using any goat. Usually I'd put a bit of goat on top, but for this I'm just going to use temple dog here. Now that's kind of a nice long wing, loads and loads of movement in it, which is going to be cool. Do the job. So I'm just going to strip any bottom fibres out of this. We're going to check our length, like so. And I've seen monkeys of all sorts with long wings, short wings, and you know, it's personal preference, but you know, for a fly like this, I think you're looking for movement. You know, this is an antagonizing fly, this is in the face, this is down, this is in spring. I mean, to be fair, I have seen grills chasing this, not even very deep below the surface. So I mean, it can be, like I said earlier, an all year, but I think predominantly known as a spring fly. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is add in some flash, and I've got 2 flashes here. Got some silver crystal flash here, and I've got some flat mirage. And I thought I was going to put silver and mirage, but I'm not. I'm just going to put 2 lots of mirage on here. So I've got 2 strands, like so. Dogs are crashing around. Pop that in there like that. Tie that in. So fold it back, which means it's nice and secure. It's not going to suddenly fly out. So I'm just going to cut those at the length end there. So there you've got a nice profile, nice long wing, and then I'm going to add in some peacock. I've got 2 nice strands here. Oh, it's kicking off. Boiler alarm, boiler alarm. Right. So that's peacock curl going in there. Like so. I don't know what my dogs are doing. Fun! Sorry, I'm shouting out the wife to let the dogs out. Not ideal for video, but such is life. Yeah, I'm just in the middle of a video with dogs. Sorry. Life never stops. Thank you. Dogs have got diarrhea. Not ideal. Right, so last, I'm going to put another hackle on top, because this is going to be a cone head. So I like to always have a cone head last. Sorry, I always like to have a cone head going onto a hackle, just because I think it's much neater. So I'm just going to tie this in here. Right, so I've built the head up quite a lot here, so what I'm going to do, find some in this mess. I'm just going to put a bit of super glue on here, so when I'm tying the hackle on, it stays nice and straight. Like so. Fold these back. And find my hackle pliers in its jungle. Sounds like bloody Starship Enterprise here, beeping going on. Now this is quite a big fly, but I think given we're going through a bit of a wet phase at the moment, I think everyone would probably agree. Yeah. Nothing wrong with a bit of size. Right, so I'm going to tie this in. Like so. I mean, you could now, which I'm quite tempted to do, put another wing on top of that, but doesn't need it. That's plenty going on there, I think, because you usually finish with a wing at the top, but it's okay. Right, last thing, whack in a bit of JC, matching pairs. Pairs. Just split the ends, take the ends off. Dogs dealt with, happy days. Sorry if the video's been a bit disrupted, but such is life. Right, put one in here. Again, I'm just going to pop a bit more super glue just on thread here. And pop in these JC eyes on. Pull this one through a tiny bit, like so. Fold back your eyes. Like so, and then go out to the whip. Finish them off, like so, and just get rid of the ends of the JC here. Sometimes I just yank them off, sometimes I cut them off depending on how brave I'm feeling. So that's the monkey. Now I've gone for 5.5 silver cone to go over the top. But I'm not sure whether it's going to be big enough or not. We'll see. Perfect, 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 perfect. So I just need to get some super glue on here. I don't have my pin frustratingly, so I'm just using this. So don't want to over super glue it, but I want a bit. Add a bit of security. I'm going to lock this in here, like so. Just leave that for a moment. So that's going to have lots of movement in it. And then pop that off. That. So I'm just going to cut this away. A bit of the head. Burn the end off. And pop it back the other way. Just to keep that, to get that to solidify there. And there you have it. Not actually too big. And that's gonna nice and flashy. That'll be a nice fly for spring.